Haribol, Hare Krishna. So welcome to our Jaiva Dharma session, and we're into Nam Tattva, chapter 23. So we'll discuss various aspects of that. And today is Thursday, the 20th of June. And today is the Chid Dahi Mahotsav of Raghunath Das in the association of Nityananda Prabhu. So I posted a nice excerpt from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj's glorification of this pastime, so that you can all familiarize yourself with the pastime of that, because I won't be speaking on it, I'll just mention it here, but I won't be going into detail about it today. We'll be starting our Nam Tattva today. So that's why I posted the excerpt so you can read it. Okay, so we'll have a kirtan and then we'll begin. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tira Vanachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Ganhari Giri Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Brishabhana Nandini Vajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai, Nityananda Rai Ki Jai, Satchinandana Gaurahari Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai, Surabhi Kunj Ki Jai, Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Astotara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Astotara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Astotara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Astotara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gaurikishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Varantaracharya Ki Jai. Jai Rasik Siromani Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shri Bhata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Arupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Swarab Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parsada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sika Holsi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Shri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Antadvip Mayapur Simantadvip Gautamdvip Madhyadvip Koladvip Ritudvip Janadvip Motamdvip Rudadvip Atmaka Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dwarasa Varmatmika Shri Braja Mandal Ki Jai Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Ganga Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Srimati Brinda Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Srimati Yogamaya Punamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai Gopishwa Mahadev Ki Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai Ketramandal Ki Jai Sarva Vignavanasa Karishina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai Bhakta Prabha Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Chari Dham Ki Jai Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai Chari Acharya Ki Jai Akara Mat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai Grantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagat Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol Om Agina Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadavaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shwapadantikam Priya Swarupe Dayata Sarupe Prema Sarupe Sahajavi Rupe Nijana Rupe Prabhueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe Anapita Chirim Chirat Kuranavartinokalo Samarpaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundarada Dikatamba Satipita Sada Hridare Kandare Spuratu Vasachinandanaha Yam Pravajantamana Petyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putre Titam Mayatayo Tarabobinidustam Sarvabhutam Ridim Munimanatoshmi Bhaktiya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadi Tarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Pajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Baradram Tato Mamanastikati Anakapi Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my most beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila, Pravishta Om, Astotaras Darashishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Narayana Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our most beloved, Nitya Lila, Pravishta Om, Astotaras Darashishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Swami, Srila Prabhupada. And again, millions of times unto our dearmost Namo Bhakti Vinodaya, Satchidananda Namane, Gauda Shakti Swarupaya, Rupanuga Varayate, and all our illustrious Rupanuga Gauravarga, and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vansha Kalpa Turubhyascha, Kripa Sindhuvevicha, Patitanam Pavanivyo Vaishnavena Namaha. So, Shid Dahi Mahotsav Ki Jai, Raghunath Das Goswami Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. So now we come to our Falshruti on page 830. It's the next 5 here. So come a little bit closer. Vera, Prabhu will speak. Okay, go ahead.
Jade Dvaita Jana Heya Chite Upadeya Krishna Bhakti Chiradina Upaya Upai. Such knowledge, which is solely related to the duality of this dull material world, is fit to be rejected, whereas transcendental knowledge of the divine duality within the spiritual world, Chit Jagat, should be accepted forever within one's heart, both as the upaya, means of attainment, and the upayi, goal worthy of attainment.
So we're hearing this repeatedly, the same principle that the material conclusions are ineffectual for taking us to transcendence, and they should be utterly given up. We have the 3rd chapter, material, what is it, material, 3rd chapter? Nimitic dharma must be relinquished. Yes. So this is constantly being reiterated by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, putting us in the right track, the right conclusion.
Jiva ka bhujada naya, hari ka bhunaya, hari saha jiva chintaya bheda bhedamaya. The jiva is not a product of dull matter, nor is he Kevaladvaita, absolutely one in all ways with Sri Hari. The jiva is inconceivably different and non-different from Hari.
So we have this in the 18th chapter, beautifully explained how the jiva is infinitesimal, anuchit. Krishna is vibhuchit, the purna, the total of everything. And we have that particle, that spark of Krishna within us. Otherwise we wouldn't be alive. So we appreciate that the sadhya is already in the heart. That bhav, kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhav sasadanabhida, nitya siddhyasya. Nitya siddhyasya means eternally residing. Nitya siddhyasya bhavasya prakatam hriti sadhyate. In potential. It's already there in potential. It just needs to, it's like a seed. If we look at any seed, it has the potential to grow into a huge, huge tree. It needs water and sunlight. So it needs the association of Vaishnavas and needs Guru's infusion. It's actually Krishna and Guru, the two together. Because Guru gives us this Krishna Seva Vasana. He gives us the inspiration for Seva. Krishna Seva Vasana. Vasana means the inspiration for Seva. This is what Guru gives us. And by that Seva, we will invoke the mercy of the Lord, the Kripa of the Lord. So Krishna and the Guru Varga are both required for the Jiva to recognize his infinitesimal nature and his oneness with Krishna also. Oneness in service to Krishna. Krishna becomes so pleased. Krishna becomes ultimately controlled by his bhakta. If his bhakta is overflowing with affectionate moods towards him, this has the ability to control Krishna, controlled by love. Krishna will be controlled by love. Just like that's the whole dynamic of Brajadam. This is the whole dynamic of Vrindavan. All the residents there are completely controlling Krishna by their affection and attraction. And Krishna is depending on their loving moods towards him. Especially, of course, the gopis. Whereas in Dwarka, everyone is depending on Krishna. But in Braj, Krishna is depending on them. It's a completely different dynamic. My Gurudev says if we don't know this, we're still basically on the Kanishta level. A person who understands the distinction between Goloka Vrindavan, Gokul, and Dwarka and Mathura, and the Mayic worlds, then he is educated, then he's in knowledge, then he can be called a Madhyam from that position. So we have to very quickly come to this solid appreciation of our infinitesimal nature and the greatness of Krishna and how we can serve Krishna and endear Krishna. What's this? Kleshagni Shubhada, this is the practice of sadhana bhakti. And then Moksha Lakuta Krits Dulabha, this is Bhav Bhakti. But Prema Bhakti, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa. What does that mean? That means this will even attract Krishna. This will bring Krishna. And the Rati of the gopis, this Samartha Rati, has the ability to bring Krishna under their control by the power of their love. This can be so endearing. But this is what Krishna is hungry for. He's hungry for that.
Deha kabu jivanaya, dhara bhogyanaya, dasa bhogya jiva Krishna, Prabhu bhokta haya. The material body should never be considered to be the jiva, and this earth is not for the jiva to exploit and enjoy. The jiva's swarupa is Krishna Das, and thus he is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. Whereas Sri Krishna Swarup is Prabhu, master, and Bhokta, enjoyer.
Krishna is like the sun, and the Shakti is like the radiance or the heat of the sun, the energy of the sun. So we are of a particle of that Shakti. We are Tatastha Shakti, Jiva Shakti. This is where we're coming from. So we have that particle to serve the Lord. There's nothing more exhilarating and powerful when we feel that we've pleased the Vaishnavas or we've pleased Guru. There's nothing greater feeling, sensation for the devotee when he is able to really please his Guru. My Gurudev used to say that he never felt that he was pleasing his Gurudev sufficiently. He would be having festivals 365 days of the year, always non-stop speaking Harikatha, distributing so many jewels of knowledge of this Bhagavat Katha, and yet he felt never enough. Because if we feel, yes, I've done enough for my Guru, I did so much, I did this, I did that, now I can sit back or something, then we have lost it. The whole mood must be, it's a dynamic of enthusiasm, utsaha, nischayat daryat. This enthusiasm, daily, this will keep us focused on our path entirely. Love is a dynamic, and it's that loving connection, and it's always moving, it's always evolving, it's never static, it's always ecstatic. It has to become ecstatic to be accepted by the Lord. So we should have this mood, and this ecstasy, this mood of utsaha will certainly come when one immerses himself in Sri Nam Bhajan regularly, daily. This is what we're going to hear in these next 3 chapters. This Nam Tattva, Nam Bhajan. What is Nam Tattva? What is Nam Aparad? What is Nam Abas? These 3 aspects of Nam are imperative. This is the gift of Mahaprabhu. We want to come to Radha and Krishna, but we can only come through Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Heno Nitai Bine Bai, Radha Krishna Paite Nai. We can only come through Guru. Guru is the same as Nityananda. Akhanda Guru Mula Tattva is that Shakti that is residing in the heart of Guru. Guru also is in that Brajadam as his eternal Manjari form. All are Gurus. My Gurudev says many times that this Ragatmika in this time, in this age, consists of Manjari Bhav. And we take the focus from our Guru Varga. We've said so many times, every single person in our line is a Manjari. Every single person, from Rupa Manjari, Sanatan Goswami, Lavanga Manjari, Jiva Goswami, Vilasa Manjari, Gopal Bhatta, Guna Manjari or Ananga Manjari, all Krishna's Kaviraj, Kasturi Manjari, all Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, Vinod Manjari, Bhakti Vinod Thakur himself, Kamala Manjari, my Gurudev, Raman Manjari, all, and his Gurudev, Vinod Manjari. Who is not a Manjari? Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, he also has his Manjari name that Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj shared, and a few other devotees also know the name of that, but it doesn't seem to be prominently presented at the moment, so I'm not going to say it, but still we can realize that he would not be sitting in this line if he wasn't a Manjari. Wouldn't be possible. Manjari is the recipient of the gift of Mahaprabhu. This is what Mahaprabhu's come to give. He haven't come to give Sakhi Bhav, he's come to give this Manjari Bhav.
Jaiva dharma nayache deha dharma katha nayache jiva gyane mayavada pratha. This book, entitled Jaiva Dharma, neither discusses matters related to the dead material body, nor does it propound the Mayavad doctrine of the jiva's oneness with Brahm.
Yes. I mean, this whole Falshruti is setting out what is about to be presented in the Jaiva Dharma and all the truths that are here. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is making it very, very clear what he's going to present. This transcendental subject matter, nothing nimitic will be here. he's keeping it completely focused on the ultimate reality.
Jaiva nitya dharma bhakti tahe jara nae shuddha jiva prema seva phale payatai. The jiva's nitya dharma is bhakti devoid of material motivation. The jiva, purified by seva, attains the fruit of that seva in the form of prema.
This apratihata, unmotivated. How can it be nitya prem if there's a motivation, if it's like a business? We see like in the Devas, they call Krishna when they're in trouble. Indra, they'll petition Krishna, come, we're being afflicted. Even Bhumi Devi will petition the Lord to relieve her of the burden of the military armies on her planet. They have a request. This is called sakam, sa, this word with it, like even Dhruva Maharaj. He's described as a sakam karma bhakta. He had an agenda. So this is not going to inspire pure transcendental affection. The final conclusion won't be there like that. So this unmotivated, we have this anyabilasata shunyam jnana karma. Here, this is describing the Uttam Bhakta. This verse is so important. And the Uttam Bhakta, he just wants to please the Lord with all his heart and soul. Just like we have the example of Ambarish Maharaj is described as a Shuddha Bhakta. And he's actually higher in the gradation lists than even Prahlad. Prahlad is considered a Jnani Bhakta in the sense that he knows the glories, the Aishwarya aspect of Krishna. Whereas Ambarish is a Shuddha Bhakta and he's a Siddha. Prahlad is a Siddha, but Ambarish is a Shuddha Bhakta. He's a Sadhak. He's not a Siddha. And he's even above Prahlad because he's directly focusing on Krishna and bringing Krishna pleasure. Even to the extremity when Durvasa cursed him with that Krita demon coming out of the fire, stalking towards him, he was not intimidated slightly because he had taken full shelter of the Lord. And he just, in his heart, was offering prayers to that mood of the Lord, and the Lord instantly sent the Sudarsana Chakra. But then what happened when the Sudarsana Chakra turned towards Durvasa? Durvasa didn't have that in his heart. Durvasa was thinking he was in control. He was a yogi. And he was thinking, yes, I will run by my power away from this Sudarsana Chakra. By my power, I can defeat this Sudarsana Chakra by escaping it. So such a distinction between the Brahma Yogi and the pure devotee. So we should see like that, this unmotivated mood. Okay. So, yes, this Falshruti Ki Jai. So now we'll come to our chapter 23. And I'm just going to try something today. If we can.
90%. Connected to meeting. Connected to.
I'm going to try to have the recording going, and we can listen to the recording of this chapter, and then we can just stop it periodically and have any comments. But these three Nam chapters are like the very heart of this Jaiva Dharma. We should understand that. They're the very heartbeat. Exactly like we have the Bhakti chapters within the Bhagavad Gita. On the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, it's Gyan Karma Kand. And at the end, it's Gyan Kand. And in the very center, it's Bhakti Kand. And the very center chapter is chapter 12, which is actually opening up the whole of what is Bhakti. So this is the essence. It's like when we study our Srimad Bhagavatam, and we say this first verse, Janmadi Yasya Yata Nivyad Itaratas Karate Sheshu Abhignatsaran. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaya Moyanti Yatsuraya Teje Vari Mardam Vinamoy Yatra Trishargo Risham what's that? Damna Svena
Sada
Nirasta
Nirasta
Kuhukam Satyam Paramadimahi. The Satyam Paramadimahi. What is the Satyam? What is the Satyam Parama? What is the supreme truth? Dimahi, to meditate on in the Bhagavatam. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives 5 explanations. And the final explanation is Bhakti Devi herself. This is the conclusion of the Bhagavatam. So in all the scriptures, the most essential teaching are the teachings on Bhakti Tattva. And this Nam Tattva, we're eligible to go into the Nam chapter, Nam Tattva considerations. We've been through 22 chapters. And I've said previously, don't think that these are behind us or something. These 22 chapters should have accumulated and be residing within us now to give us some support, some substance to understand this 23rd chapter. So I once asked my Gurudev, actually, I said, can I take out these 3 chapters of the Nam Tattva and publish them in a separate booklet, just so people can see something, because I think they're so special and beautiful. And my Gurudev gave a very beautiful response. He said, if you have a block of gold, which part of it is more valuable? In other words, the whole Jaiva Dharma is a block of gold. How can you say that one part is more valuable than the other? Still, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's planted this Nam Tattva in the very center of this book, in this publication. Actually, the Dasmula has concluded now. It's saying Prameya in most of the editions, but actually it's not a Prameya. It can be a Prameya in the sense that it's can support us exactly like the Mulas can, the Dasmulas can, but it's not included ultimately in the 9 Prameyas and the 1 Praman. So it's a separate piece, but it's coming at this point. And we've said before, all these chapters are very amazingly laid out step by step for our internal and external journey on this path, from the first chapter to the very 40th chapter, step by step by step. It's all an accumulation of incredible truths that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us in a very simplistic way. And he's put this very heart of it in this Nam Tattva chapters in the beginning, in the center, I mean. So we'll read through here, and I'm going to try to see how we go with this. You can give me some feedback on the in the YouTube, perhaps, if Mother Sachi's there, or Rasa Manjari, or anybody, and see if this is working. Otherwise, Veera Gopal Prabhu can read again, but we'll just try this way and see if it works. Chapter 23, Prameya, Sri Nam Tattva. Bilva Pushkarini is a charming village. Everyone can where hear? Bhagavati Bhagirati flows in both the northern and western directions. In one corner of the village, there is a beautiful lake surrounded by bale trees. On the shore of the lake is the Bilva Paksha Mahadev temple, and Bhavatarana is splendidly situated a little distant from this temple. The village of Simulya is between Bilva Pushkarini. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has laid out the map for us of Navadvip as we have it today. And he's taking great pains to describe exactly the location of Brajanath's house. But actually today, this same location is not here, because Ganga Devi has changed. This is describing the village or the township of Navadvip. This was during Mahaprabhu's time. Now that same Navadvip is still on this side of the Ganga, on the eastern side of the Ganga. But the Navadvip that we have today is on the western side. The Navadvip township is on the western side. And there's actually a group of people, personalities, who proclaim that the real Navadvip is actually on the western side. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's discovered or has been led to expose where is the yoga pit. Bhaktivinoda Thakur did so much research on mapping out the holy Dham. But at the time of this is just after the departure of Mahaprabhu. So therefore, the geography is practically the same as it was at the time of Mahaprabhu. So this is the description that he's describing now, very carefully, closely. So this is what he's describing. And Brahmana Pushkarini, and all three villages are within the town of Navadvip. A wide road leads through the center of Bilva Pushkarini, and Brajanath's house is on this road towards the north. Vijay Kumar had bidden his sister farewell and walked for some distance, but on the way he began to think that it would be fitting to learn Sri Nam Tattva from Babaji before he went home. Thinking like this, he returned to Bilva Pushkarini and said to his sister, "I will stay here for 1 or 2 more days, and then I will return home." Rajanath became very happy to see his maternal uncle Vijay Kumar return. They sat together in the Chandi Mandap and began discussing the instructions of Dasamula. You see how spontaneous Bhaktivinoda Thakur is narrating this whole pastime? That even though Vijay had left the home, made all his farewells, received the gifts and so on, but still the prominence of his education in bhakti was superior to any sort of social disturbance, whatever, because it may have been somewhat strange to have departed, everyone's saying farewell, give you the gifts, and then all of a sudden you come back. He didn't care for that. He cared only for bhakti. How can I advance in my bhakti? I'm not concerned with the social situation, whatever. You understand? So I find that a lesson also personally, that he should be liberated sufficiently to carry his heart's most desire through. Very often we have a heart desire and it's perhaps inhibited by social barricades around us, or we place mental obstructions into fulfilling our heart's desires. But if we can clear the heart of any sort of guilt about our performance of service to the Lord, if we're feeling guilty, that's going to make the consciousness smaller. It's going to shrink our consciousness actually. But if we're performing sadhana nicely, we should have no fear for any decision that we want to make from the heart, and follow the heart's desire through. So this is what I appreciate from this. By now, Suryadev was preparing to set on the western horizon. I always think it's very beautiful how Bhaktivinoda Thakur, 4 or 5 times up to date, he's mentioned Suryadev. He doesn't say the sun. He's looking at the devas. He's aware of the heavenly situation, Swagaloka. If we've studied the Bhagavatam, especially the 5th canto, all the way through, after the 5th canto, so many pastimes about Swagaloka, etc., we become so familiar with these different worlds that we're no longer conditioned by just this singular vision from this earthly planet, but we're actually in touch, basically, with all the different planetary systems around us. This is the condition of the devotee. The devotee is in touch with all the whole cosmic manifestation. We're reading about it, hearing about it daily from the Bhagavatam. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he holds that thread, that mood of Suryadev. He doesn't say the sun is sinking. Surya, with his 7 horses, chariots, and Arun, the chariot driver, etc. And he has this mood of connection and great respect for these personalities. Towards their nests. Just at that time, 2 Vaishnava sadhus from the Ramanuja Sampradaya arrived. They put their asan beneath a jackfruit tree in front of Brajanath's house, collected some sticks from here and there, and lit a fire. Their foreheads were beautifully adorned with the tilak of the Sri Sampradaya, and a sublime peace emanated from their faces. Brajanath's mother was very hospitable towards guests. Knowing that they must be hungry, she collected various kinds of edible ingredients and placed them before the sadhus, requesting them to cook and eat. They were satisfied and began to prepare their rotis. When Brajanath and Vijay Kumar saw these Vaishnavas' peaceful faces, they came and sat with them. Both Vaishnavas were very pleased to see tulsi malas on the necks of Brajanath and Vijay Kumar, and the 12 marks of tilak on their bodies. I was just considering how Brajanath's mother, she considered that they must be hungry. A mother will always consider that people are hungry, whether they're hungry or not. But that's a mother's nature. So again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is bringing us in this very sensitive mood. Just a thought. Spreading their blanket out more, they very respectfully had them sit down. In order to become acquainted with them, Brajanath asked, "Maharaj, where are you coming from?" One of the Babajis answered, "We have come from Ayodhya. For many days we have wanted to take darshan of Sri Navadvip Dham, the pastime place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are so fortunate that by Bhagavan's mercy we have arrived in Sri Navadvip Dham today. We would like to stay here for a few days and take darshan of the pastime places of Sriman Mahaprabhu." "You have certainly arrived in Sri Navadvip," said Brajanath. "You should rest here today and take darshan of Sriman Mahaprabhu's birthplace and of Srivasanga." When the two Vaishnavas heard Brajanath's words, they became very blissful and recited a shloka from the Gita, 15:6. Yad gatva na nivartante, tat dharma paramam mama. When one goes to my abode, he does not have to return to this world. Today our lives have become blessed. We have become blessed by taking darshan of Sri Maya Tirtha, which is the chief holy place of the 7 Puris. Thereafter, both Vaishnavas reflected on Artha Panchaka and presented Sri Ramanuja's views on these 5 subjects: Swaswarup, Paraswarup, Upaya Swarup, Purusartha Swarup, and Virodhi Swarup. Upon hearing these topics, Vijay Kumar in turn explained Tattva Traya. That is to say, he spoke on Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, and their interrelationship. After some time he said, "What is the Siddhanta in your Sampradaya regarding Sri Nam Tattva?" However, Brajanath and Vijay Kumar were not very impressed or appreciative of the reply that the two Vaishnavas gave. So there's a distinction. Thereafter, Brajanath said to Vijay Kumar, "Mamaji." So there's such a distinction between the Ramanuja focus. The Ramanuja, Mahaprabhu takes from the Ramanujas their mood of service and their mood of bhakti. This is what he takes from the Ramanujas. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati took many of the regulations from the Ramanujas. But in the ultimate vision of their prayojan, it's quite different because it's encased in Vaidhi Bhakti. It's not looking towards Raganuga Bhakti. That's not the principle. In the Gaudiya Sampradaya, the Madhva, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, because of Madhavendra Puri in particular, Madhavacharya, he also was very much influenced by Ramanuja, because Ramanuja was just before Madhavacharya. But at the same time, Madhavacharya, he established the Murti form, the beautiful form of, what's the name of that deity in near Bangalore? Srinathji, yes, this beautiful deity. And the principles that go along with serving the deity in a very respectful manner, which are necessary. But it was only with the revolutionary vision of Mahaprabhu, and principally because Mahaprabhu is non-different to Sri Radhika. It's not just a singular incarnation of Krishna like any of the other, so many other incarnations of Krishna, but it's Radha and Krishna combined. It's such a special, unique Radha, Krishna, Pranaya, Vikriti, Hladini, Shakti, Ekatmanav, that Radha and Krishna are one. So this speciality of Radhika's mercy is what we are recipients of from the mercy of Mahaprabhu. This is what we get. So it's quite distinct from all the other teachings previously. So Ramanuja appeared in 1035. So this is 1,000 years before. So his teachings are not influenced. Even though Ramanuja did have darshan of Mahaprabhu in Navadvip, at Rudradvip, but still he was cautioned by the Lord not to reveal these truths. So we see the distinction in the moods of the Ramanujas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur will bring this again, in the same topic up again later on, to appreciate these different moods in the Sampradayas. It's not the same. So he's bringing this out here.
After much deliberation, I have concluded that the Jiva can only find his welfare by accepting Krishna Nam. There is no other way. The Lord of our life, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has descended to this Maya Tirtha to teach Shuddha Krishna Nam in the world. When Sri Gurudev last instructed us, he said that Sri Nam is the foremost of all the angas of bhakti, and that we must make a separate attempt to understand Nam Tattva. So let us go this very day and try to understand Sri Nam Tattva conclusively. Then, after taking care of the needs of the guests, they departed. The Sandhya had arrived, and darkness was spreading. In Srivasanga, Sri Bhagavan's Sandhya Arti had begun, and the Vaishnavas were sitting on the platform of the Bakula tree. The elderly Raghunath Das Babaji was also sitting there in their midst, chanting Nam on his Tulsi Mala and keeping count Sankhya Purvaka. Brajanath and Vijay Kumar offered Satsang Pranam at his feet, and Babaji Mahasai embraced them, saying, "Is the bliss of your bhajan increasing?" Vijay Kumar folded his hands and said, "Prabhu, by your mercy, we are well in all respects. Now kindly bestow your mercy upon us this evening and instruct us on Nam Tattva." Being very pleased, Babaji Maharaj replied, "Sri Bhagavan has two kinds of names. His primary names, Mukhya Nam, and his secondary names, Gauna Nam."
Just a point here. The edition that I'm reading this narration from was the very first edition. It's the blue edition. We're up to now the 5th or the 6th edition. So there's been quite a few changes. So the narration might sound a little different to what you're reading, but the principles are the same.
Such as Shirsti Karta, Creator, Jagat Pata, Protector of the Universe, Vishva Niyanta, Controller of the Universe, Vishva Palaka, Maintainer of the Universe, and Paramatma, Supersoul, are related to the creation within the shelter of the material modes. These are called Guna, secondary, because they are related to the gunas, modes of material nature. There are many such Guna names, including names such as...
Powerful point. The gunas and the names are gona, secondary, because they're related to the gunas. They're not the highest transcendental names. So it's a very significant point that he's making here, the secondary. Okay?
Brahma. Rajanath became very happy to see his maternal were beautifully adorned with the tilak saw these Vaishnavas' peaceful faces. They came and sat very respectfully, had them sit down. Of Srivasangam. Upon hearing these topics, Vijay Kumar in turn explained to teach Shuddha Krishna Nam in the world. When Sri Gurudev last instructed us, he said that Sri Nam is the foremost of all the angas of bhakti,
Not
and
familiar
that we
with how
must
to do
make a
this yet.
separate attempt to understand Nam Tattva. So let us go this very day
It's okay.
and try to understand
just
Sri
hear it
Nam
again.
Tattva conclusively. Then, after taking care of the needs of the guests, they departed. The Sandhya had arrived, and darkness was spreading. In Srivasanga, Sri Bhagavan's Sandhya Arti had begun, and the Vaishnavas were sitting on the platform of the Bakula tree. The elderly Raghunath Das Babaji was also sitting there in their midst, chanting Nam on his Tulsi Mala and keeping count Sankhya Purvaka. Brajanath and Vijay Kumar offered Satsang Pranam at his feet, and Babaji Mahasai embraced them, saying, "Is the bliss of your bhajan increasing?" Vijay Kumar folded his hands and said, "Prabhu, by your mercy, we are well in all respects. Now kindly bestow your mercy upon us this evening, and instruct us on Nam Tattva." Being very pleased, Babaji Maharaj replied, "Sri Bhagavan has two kinds of names, his primary names, Mukhya Nam, and his secondary names, Gauna Nam. Names such as Shirsti Karta, Creator, Jagatpata, Protector of the Universe, Vishvaniyanta, Controller of the Universe, Vishvapalaka, Maintainer of the Universe, and Paramatma, Supersoul, are related to the creation within the shelter of the material modes. These are called Guna, secondary, because they are related to the gunas, modes of material nature. There are many such Guna names, including names such as Brahma. Although their fruit is extremely great, they do not easily yield a transcendental result, Chit Phal. The names that are always present both in the spiritual and material worlds are spiritual and primary. For example, names such as Narayan, Vasudev, Janardhan, Rishikesh, Hari, Achyuta, Govinda, Gopal, and Ram are all primary. These names are present in Bhagavan's abode, Bhagavad Dham, and are one with his form, Bhagavat Swarup. In the material world, these names only dance on the tongues of very fortunate people to whose bhakti they are attracted. Sri Bhagavan Nam has no connection at all with the material world, and all the Shaktis of Bhagavan's form, Bhagavat Swarup, are present in Sri Nam. Therefore, the names also possess all these Shaktis. They have descended into the material world and are engaged in destroying Maya. The Jivas have no friend in this material world, except for Harinam. In the Brihan Naradiya Purana, Harinam is said to be the only way. Hare Namaiva 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 Mama Jivanam. Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatya Anyata. Brihan Naradiya Purana 38, 126. Meditation is the predominant process for perfection in Satya Yuga, Yagya, sacrifice, in Treta Yuga, and Archan, deity worship, in Dwapara Yuga. But in Kali Yuga, Harinam is my only life. Harinam is my only life. Harinam is my only life. In Kali Yuga, other than Sri Harinam, there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Harinam has unlimited great and wonderful Shakti, which can destroy all kinds of sins within a moment. Avaishyanapi yannamni, kirtite sarvapata kahai, pumman vimuchyate sadhya, singha traste mriger iva. Garuda Purana 232:12. A person who performs the kirtan of Sri Narayan with absorption becomes at once freed from all sins. They fly away from him, just like frightened deer who hear the roar of a lion. When one takes shelter of Sri Harinam, all his miseries and all kinds of diseases disappear. Adayo vyadayo yasya smaranan namakirtanat tadaiva vilayang yanti tam anantam namamnyaham. Skanda Purana. I offer obeisances to the Supreme Lord, who is known as Anantadev. Remembering him and chanting his name immediately dispels all kinds of diseases and miseries completely. One who performs Harinam purifies his family, his society, and the whole world. Maha Pataka Yukto Pi Kirtayan Anisham Harim Suranta Karano Budva Jayate Pankti Pavanaha. Brahmanda Purana. Even if one is very sinful, if he constantly performs Harinam, his heart becomes pure. He attains twice-born status, and he purifies the whole world. One who is dedicated to Sri Harinam is relieved of all unhappiness, all disturbances, and all kinds of disease. Saravarogo Pashamam, Saravo Padrava Nashanam, Shanti Dam Sarvarishtanam, Harer Namanu Kirtanam. Brihad Vishnu Purana. When one performs Sri Harinam Kirtan, all kinds of diseases go away, all kinds of disturbances are appeased, all kinds of obstacles are destroyed, and one attains supreme peace. The degrading qualities of Kali cannot affect one who chants Sri Harinam. Hare Keshava Govinda Vasudeva Jaganmaya Iti Rayanti Ye Nityam Nahi Tan Bhatate Kali. Brihan Naradiya Purana. Kali cannot cause any impediment, even for a moment, to those who perform constant kirtan, chanting O Hare, O Govinda, O Keshava, O Vasudeva, O Jaganmaya. One who hears Sri Harinam becomes liberated from hell. Yata yata harer nama kirtayanti smanaraka tata tata harau bhaktim udvahanto divam yayu. Nrsingatapani. If even the residents of hell chant Harinam, they achieve Hari Bhakti and enter within the divine abode. Chanting Harinam destroys prarabdha karma, the results of past pious and impious activity, which is now bearing fruit. Yan nama deyam riyamana atura, patan skalanva vivasho granan puman, vimukta karma galo uttamam gatim, prapnoti yakshanti na tam kalojana. Srimad Bhagavatam 12:3-44. If a human being helplessly chants just one name of Sri Bhagavan at the time of death, in an afflicted situation, or when falling down or slipping, all the bondage of his karma is destroyed, and he will obtain the highest goal. But alas, due to the influence of Kali Yuga, people do not worship him. Harinam Kirtan is more glorious and beneficial than study.
So, this is such an infusion of Siddhanta and direct quotes from Shastra supporting the practice of Harinam. And when we listen to this attentively, then it just fills the heart with enthusiasm to chant solidly. I've just got to get a book down. Just want to show that it won't let me come out.
Yes.
I just want to share with the devotees a particular publication, which is very much like what we're reading here. And when I first joined, we used to read from this book every morning after our Mangalati, Sri Namamrita. It was actually originally compiled by a devotee called Shubhananda. And it just has quote after quote after quote about the potency of chanting. So if any of you can procure a copy of this, probably we'll find it, a digital copy somewhere, but it has the same effect. I can remember personally being so deeply moved by reading and hearing one verse after another, after another. The mind has nowhere, you can't escape it. It's just like a bombardment of complete truth about the chanting of the holy name. And anyone can perform it. You don't have to be a brilliant scholar or anything of this nature. You just have to simply take shelter of the process, and the regulation is what is really important. When we get inspired to chant, like this chapter will inspire us tremendously, I'm sure. Many of you hearing this chapter, I'm not very comfortable actually with the way the narration is going like this. I think tomorrow I'll try and just speak it myself, because I like to interject more often, or to be more connected with the text. I'm feeling a little divorced from the text when it's going like this. But just to hear these verses all the way through, the way they're presented by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is such a weight of infusion for our focus. But it's the regulation that is going to make the difference. Always the consistency. Whatever we chant, even if it's 8 rounds a day or 4 rounds a day, at least chant those solidly every single day. And then gradually increase. And there's no doubt that 16 rounds a day is not going to be sufficient for a mature devotee to actually be getting some type of taste for Nam. It won't manifest on 16 a day. It's simply, it's enough to keep Maya Devi away. But if we want to take this process really seriously, if we can arrange our lives in such a way that we can spend more time with Nam, all of our external fortune will manifest for us. It's quite remarkable the number of stories I've heard where individuals have just decided just to start chanting, and no difficulties have come from the material realm. I can remember personally when I began chanting, I had so many services that I was actually doing, and somehow everything was reconciled very easily. There was no impediment, giving me the encouragement, yes, this is what Krishna wants me to do with my life. This is the encouragement that I felt from my own personal circumstances. And previously, I used to have japa retreats around the world where we would sit together for a week, and all kinds of people, often brand new people, would come and connect with the holy name. And it would just be focused on chanting 64 rounds a day. And many new people, for the first time in their lives, they would chant 64 rounds a day. And every single time, it was like the lights went on for them completely. And many older devotees who hadn't given themselves the proper time or situation to chant became really inspired by that opportunity and carried it on, because the point is that we want to pray for the addiction to this chanting. Just chanting on a spurt for a few weeks or a few months and then becoming lax again in it is unfortunate. We really want to try to sustain it, because that's when the fruits will come. And I used to share with the people there that 16 rounds is like you're treading water. You're not actually swimming, you're not actually going anywhere. You're staying afloat from Maya. You can stay aloof from the attachments and attractions to the illusory energy. Yes, you can. But you don't really progress on the path of Braja Ras or Braja Bhakti. You don't really go into that. And then 32 rounds, you're starting to feel the confidence of being like a real devotee. I think this is important just to mention it for a second here, that there are so many different people watching and hearing this, but for all of us, the confidence of being a sincere devotee or a focused devotee is important, that we feel the identity of being a devotee. When you chant 32 rounds, you feel like you're something of a devotee. You start to feel like that. And when you're chanting 40, then you've really upgraded and things are really starting to move along. And then 48, and something miraculous starts to take place with the consciousness if you're able to sustain it. This is the point. You will seek association of like-minded individuals almost straight away. For example, you won't have 15, 20-minute phone conversations. You just don't have time for it. You don't have time for the frivolity of the different material activities that we do in this material world. You just don't have time for various frivolous types of things. They just literally drop away, and you become quite sober. Sober in the sense that the intoxication of the material world starts to diminish. And then if we have the inspiration and ability to do 64 rounds a day, and really and truly, it doesn't take such a long time. If you rise early in the morning, you can conclude it after 6 or 7 or 8 hours perhaps. If you can rise by 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock even. And I've always maintained that the secret of bhajan or sustained chanting is going to bed early. You can't expect to get up early if you go to bed after 10 o'clock. How can you possibly expect to rise early in the morning? It starts in the evening time. It starts arranging. If this is the most important thing in our lives, if we understand that this waking up of the soul's potential in its connection, in its loving connection with the Lord, is the most important thing for my life, the energy of this life is only that, then Krishna will very quickly, and all our Guru Varga will immediately support that effort. You'll see, it'll be like miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle is just going on. And that is really inspiring. That is really inspiring for the devotee to see that tangibly in his life. But the secret, I'm saying two secrets here. One is going to bed early, then one can surely get up early and maximize his time, as well as conduct all the various material activities that have to be performed, but with far more attention and clarity. What might have taken you a few hours to do previously, when you're chanting more, you will be able to do it concisely in a much more focused manner. You won't have to waste any time. So this chanting, sustained chanting, not just doing it for a little while or so, but sustained chanting is the greatest opportunity in this. And this is Kali Yuga, and we're hearing all these amazing shloks, and we'll continue tomorrow to hear all these verses. And if you get this little book, this Sri Namamrita, you can supplement it anytime, any place you can just open, and it's just packed with inspirational guides from Shastra to chant more. And just by Mahaprabhu has invested, this is the distinction between the chanting now. Mahaprabhu has given the power into Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sharva Shaktis. All the Shaktis of Nam are manifested now. They were not manifested previously to the same degree. Mahaprabhu is such an exceptional personality, exceptional avatar, the golden avatar. Only once in the whole day of Lord Brahma, every 8,640,000,000 years it's such a rare opportunity. And it's such a simple process to do. And at this time in the world, when things are even more, Kali Yuga is degrading moment by moment practically, on all fronts, in all areas. And if we can pick up this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will offset the influences of Kali, without a doubt. So I just wanted to supplement that on the ecstatic, Siddhantic quotations that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, to offer all encouragement and try to procure this little book. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Nam Bhajan ki jai, Nam Tattva ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai. This is why this Nam Tattva is in the center. It's the conclusion. We've heard all the different truths, but now this potency, this power, is going to carry us, our consciousnesses, into the truth. This is what it will do, directly. Jai Ho. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavebhya, Patitanam Pavanabhyo, Vaishnave Namo Namaha. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.